My favorite thing about being an Orange Key is getting to interact with administration and faculty in a different light than just as a student. As an Orange Key, I get to interact as a student leader and as a volunteer.
Students should watch SHSU Unlocked because Orange Keys get to serve as the official ambassadors of Sam Houston State University. Because of that, we get to interview some really cool people on campus. We get to interview directors, vice presidents, and even coaches to see the updates on COVID, some really cool personal aspects of their life in SHSU as a whole.
People should watch SHSU Unlocked because it gives them an inside look at the university and allows them to learn more about different programs and organizations that Sam Houston has to offer.
My favorite thing about being an Orange Key is how professional the organization is. It is very much the greatest organization on campus, the one that pushes you to your limits and allows you to be the best version of yourself.
Hello everybody, I am Megan McDonald. I am here with Orange Keys and we are doing another episode of our SHSU Unlocked. Today we have our athletic director, Mr. Williams, with us. Hello Mr. Williams, how are you?
Hi Megan, doing great. How are you?
That's awesome, I'm doing well. So just first question that we have, I know that a lot of things are changing daily, so what are some of the current plans and updates that you can tell us regarding athletics and the COVID-19 situation?
Well, one of these is the Zoom call. I guess it's really, we learned how to do this, even old guys like me that have been able to be up to date on technology. But a lot of what's happened started for us back March 13th last spring when I was at the men's and women's Southland Conference basketball championships in Katy when we canceled that tournament, and then everything kept following by canceling all the spring sports, which you were part of, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And then having to talk to each team and, the tears and the disappointment of letting student athletes that the season was over. That was a challenge. And then we've spent a lot of time the last 5 months, Zoom calls, lots of meetings, trying to determine what's the safest thing for us to do? How do we go about our business again? And to say the least, it's been a challenge. Trying to make decisions. Science has been changing daily, hourly. Our decisions have been changing daily and hourly. But I guess the latest update is we've suspended the fall sports a couple of weeks ago or a week and a half ago. And looking at trying to play them sometime in the winter or spring. I think the biggest difference between March 13th and last spring and now is when I told our student athletes that we were canceling back then, there really wasn't a lot of hope that we were going to be able to play. And that was probably the most difficult and challenging part of it. But when I talk to student athletes now with the fall sports, there is hope. There's hope that we can have some type of season. From that perspective and trying to deal with that. And all the decisions that would go about, the factors coming in those decisions are challenging, but we're doing the best we can. And I think everybody else is. From a leadership standpoint, the toughest part about this is you're supposed to have all the answers, but I'm not sure any of us have the answers in this difficult time.
Yes. Well, that's good that there's still some hope that sports can go on in the spring. So playing in the spring, you would have all your fall sports and your spring sports trying to play at one time. What are some of the potential challenges that you foresee in that?
Well, one of the reasons why we made this decision too as well, our student athletes, and you're very aware of this, our student athletes have an opportunity for a certain experience level. The safety factor and what we're trying to do in the middle of COVID-19, that's pretty obvious. We all want to be safe. We all want to put in the right protocols and follow the NCAA protocols. But what it came down to a lot is student-athlete experience too, and our fan experience. What is the level of expectation with that? And it's pretty safe for the last 15 years that our department and sports and fans have become used to the experience of playing for a national championship, playing an NCAA postseason, playing for conference championships, and playing a full season. Well, we all know that that's a challenge. By moving the fall sports to the winter or the spring, now we're looking at 17 sports being run at the same time, basically. That's a daunting task. That's a big challenge from an operation standpoint, from a fan experience standpoint, student athlete experience, everything like that. Just the logistics of making that happen. I mean, we've looked at it from a schedule standpoint. There's a possibility that we could have basketball games on Wednesday night, volleyball games on Thursday night, tennis, soccer, softball, and baseball on Friday night, and then Saturday a football game with baseball, softball, and then track teams and golf teams traveling. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things that go into play, but at least now we've got a little bit of time to try to figure that out. I believe that our first goal is to protect the spring sports and the winter sports from a reduction in schedule because of what happened last year in those sports. So that's a priority from there. And we also want to try to not reduce the schedules in the fall sports as much as possible. That may not be possible, unfortunately, but we're going to work through to try to make it the best experience that we can for everyone involved and make it happen. And of course, the safety is obvious there with the NCAA guidelines that we have and the testing protocols and all the different things, making sure that the teams that we're playing against are doing the same thing as well. Because we feel like we are creating as safe an environment as we can. We're doing the PCR test, which is the gold standard at this point in time. So we're putting our student athletes in a positive, safe environment, and also creating our bubble so that we can be a good partner with the university community as they go through and deal with these challenges as well, coming back to school and different things like that.
Yeah, awesome. Well, it will definitely be an exciting spring. So discuss a little bit about how vital the student body is to athletics and their success.
It's extremely vital. We're very appreciative of what our students do for us in the funding aspect and our support that they have when they come to our games and events. They're our number one season ticket holders. I mean, they're the top from that standpoint. So everything we do is to try to work with student affairs, student activities, our student organizations, and telling them how much we appreciate them and how much we appreciate their support by coming to the games. And that's why we want to represent this university at the highest level that we can. We want to be really great academically with our student athletes, but we also want to compete on the field of competition, provide great entertainment, and winning also helps, and everybody likes to be a part of that. And so we do everything we can. And I feel like the last 15 years, we've done a very positive job in that aspect. And I'm proud of what our student athletes have accomplished. And we're going to continue to do that even in the middle of COVID-19 and the challenges that we have, keeping in mind that our students are so important to this university. And we're just a part of that, supporting them and the university mission.
Yeah, awesome. So during your time as athletic director, how have you seen Sam Houston develop over the years into what it is now?
Well, it's hard to believe I'm starting my 39th year here. So you can imagine the campus that I walked on in 1982 has changed dramatically in every way, from the buildings on campus, to the streets going one way in a different direction than they've always done, to the growth of the university, going from 9,000 students to 21,000 students, seeing the city impact, the positive impact it's had on the city and the community, just the success and what we're known for, the growth in academic, degrees, the doctoral programs, the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, the growth that we've had and the success that we've had in doing it the right way. I really think there's one thing that hasn't changed, and actually I think it keeps getting better. When I first walked on this campus in 1982 was first generation students coming into college for the first time in their family, and also that we're a teaching institution. We haven't lost sight of the fact that the undergraduate and the student is extremely important, being taught by full professors and those type of things. Even though we have expanded our research, I think we haven't lost the sight of the fact of who we are, and that's for the student and the undergraduate.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so last question. Let's take a walk down memory lane. Tell me about your favorite moment or time throughout your period of being athletic director?
Well, there's so many because we've been very blessed to have a lot of successes. You were part of one of my favorites when we played the NCAA regional over at Texas, and we won that game. And I was in the dugout, got to experience that with y'all. I kind of got a little loud that day and excited, scared a few people, I guess. But that was one of those special moments that I got to share with y'all. I tell everybody, being athletic director is not that fun or all it's made up to be. But being around the student athletes and those type of environments and the one-on-ones, that's really special. And there's so many to name, but probably the one that stands out the most, it's kind of an emotional one for me. It's when in 2011 in the semifinal, we were playing Montana here at Bauer Stadium to go for our first trip to Frisco. The stadium is packed, the largest crowd in the history of the stadium. It's a tight ball game at the end, and we're really, it's on national TV and a lot of excitement. But towards the end of the game, our fans, I think it started on the east side, and it started Sam on the student side and went across to the press box and went Houston. And that back and forth, there's a video of it that's on YouTube that I watch time to time. And I got really emotional. I had tears in my eyes that night because I remember the times when we were playing at Pritchett Field and nobody was coming. We moved to Bowers. There was not a lot of fans, not a lot of success. And then we got to this point, and it was really emotional for me because it felt like that we finally arrived. That everybody was, our fans and our teams and everybody was getting the impact that we could have on the university. And the best part about it is when I go to all the other venues, all the other stadiums that we have, whether it's Coliseum, softball, baseball, tennis, wherever it may be, we go to tournaments when we're playing for championships, and our fans start that Sam Houston. And it's just, I get to relive it, that moment all the time. And the reason why I picked that is because I think it realized for the first time how we brought everyone together and the pride of Sam Houston and the success that we were having. Because that really was the beginning of the success that we've really had the past decade, winning Commissioner's Cups, all the, I think, 56 championships, all those type of things that has been really a jump start, winning a national championship, playing for national championships, NCAA postseason. So that was kind of that moment that really was very special.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that is all I have for you. Thank you again for taking time to sit down and talk to us and just give us some updates and just some background. I know we really appreciate it. We really appreciate everything that you do for this university.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, and it's great working with quality people here at the university, faculty, staff, and students. So I'm blessed to be here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.